Okay, welcome to my presentation. My name is John. This is for Weld 135. So for my project, I wanted to make a trailer hitch for my 1967 Dodge Dart so I could pull motorcycles on a motorcycle trailer. Small one, nothing big. Um, Nobody makes one, so I have to make my own because there isn't a bolt-on one made. What I have right here is a reproduction of the original owner's manual. I do have my original. I just couldn't find it. I got it somewhere though. But in there, right in the back, there's a section on trailer towing, and you can see it's got a drawing. So I have blown it up, printed it out, but you can see on here where I have a problem. There's no dimensions. There's this dimension from the bumper bracket to the frame mount. There is 16 inches. Everything else, it gives dimensions of the material, but I had to design the whole thing myself. I printed this out. If you want to follow along, I uploaded it with the rest of my materials if you guys want to pull them up and look at them. But basically, so I took these elements, I had to measure everything on my own. But what didn't make sense is this little drop down. And I found out it's because they want me to use a 1 1/4 inch receiver. I didn't want to use a 1 1/4 inch. I want to use a 2 inch receiver. You can see this 67 Barracuda. It's the exact same frame. It's just the rear mounts are different. But what they didn't do is they didn't add the kick up. So that gave me the idea to make it straight. That made it quite a bit easier, less complicated on the drawing. And so what I have here is this is a sketch I did. It's really pretty simple. You know, all the dimensions for my bumper brackets. This was when I thought it was going to be a drop down, but I did the measurements so that it wouldn't be top down. So this is where I started, was with that drawing, and then right here with my sketch. Now I'll pull you closer and we'll go over the blueprint. And there we go. Let me turn on some lights so you can see just a little bit better. All right, so here's my blueprint. So after the sketch, I took that and laid everything out, drew it out to my measurements, uh, drew everything to scale. It's 4 feet or 4 inches equals 1 foot. That's a 1 to 3 scale or 1/3 scale. So this is 1/3 of the size it would actually be. Starting with my items and materials. My items are all laid out on these two views. It'd be redundant to do it on a third one. So we have the frame brackets. Those are item one. They're made out of bar material. Forward crossbar. That's item two. There's two of those. This is hollow structural steel. The tow bar down the center. I called it that because that's what it was called in the drawings. That's also hollow structural steel. Rear crossbar, same material. Then we have the two bumper brackets. That's item five. Gussets, item six. And over here, over there. And then the brackets are made out of sheet. Gussets are made out of plate. There's item numbers. Purchased items. Purchased a receiver. So I bought it from Napa. Here's Napa part number. Basically, it's a 2 inch inside diameter receiver, 8 inch length. It's represented down here, and these are just dimensions for reference because it's already built. There's no plus or minus because, again, it's already built. I did use different dimensions so that I could use different tolerances. So if there's 3 places, it's 20 thousandths. 2 decimal places, so 2 decimal places, we want 50 thousandths. And then all the fractional dimensions are going to be plus or minus 1/8. Holes plus or minus 1/32. That's pretty standard. Angle plus or minus 1 degree. It's pretty standard. So on my dimensions, I did write a note. All dimensions and processes are symmetrical and repeated across the center line and or repeated. So, for example, this weld. So we're going to have a 3/16 fillet weld, which most of these I did 3/16 leg fillet welds. This on vertical section, so arrow side, other side. So 3/16 fillet weld, we're going to repeat that on the other side of the center line because it is 100% symmetrical. So that simplifies the drawing a little bit, so I don't have to put everything over here and over there. Cleans it up a little bit, makes it so it's not quite so easier to read. Let's say that. My materials, I just wrote them up here so it'd be easy. So I've got all the materials made out of steel, 1045 steel. Basically, I just looked it up what I should use to make a trailer hitch, and that's what came up. So plate for the gussets is going to be 4" by 1/4 inch, 6 by 6 inches, because the bumper brackets are made out of 3/16. It's sheet, not plate. So we're doing 6" by 8" 3/16 inch thickness. The hollow structural steel is 2 by 2 by 8 feet. That's enough to do all of these: the rear crossbar, the forward crossbars, the tow bar. That's enough for all of those. And yeah, that's the tow bar. And these all, I originally was writing it up here, but I didn't want it to be confusing to think I had needed 8 feet for each one. So I just dropped it down here. So we just know we take that from this material. And then the bar for the frame brackets, which need to be bent. I guess I didn't say that, but they're bent at an angle. Let's see. On my welding symbols, like this one I did on the angle, which would be down here. I represented it up here. Vertical. This is because the hollow structural steel has rounded edges, we're gonna do a flare bevel on the horizontals, and then followed by a fillet weld. Back here we have square groove weld, contoured convex on the vertical surfaces. And then I did put a note 4 for 2 1/2 inch holes, top and bottom. So drill holes through receiver, horizontal surfaces only. So we only want top and bottom. Do not drill tow bar. So we don't want to drill through because we want to make a plug weld and we want to weld it flush. I'm not doing any finished machining or anything like that. But yeah, like I said, a lot of flare groove welds around, a lot of combo. I just realized I probably should have followed that with a fillet weld. Also, all weld processes to use GMAW, 30,000 wire, 7525 argon CO2, which is C25. That's what I have in my little Hobart. And yeah. Let's see if I missed anything. Okay, so here's the wrap up. I'm fully confident that I can give this to any welder that knows what he's doing, and he will make it to my specifications. There's 2 problems though. I messed up. So when I was doing my sketch, I don't know if you recall, 36" outside to outside of the frame rails. Frame rails are 2 inches wide. 36 minus 2 inches is 34. So therefore, my center to center up here was 35 inches. But that's a mistake. And I didn't notice it until it was way too late. So this inside diameter should be 32. And then these would be 34 inches apart, center to center. So it's not going to fit. And then also right here, the drop down bar, or on the bumper bracket, the lower section should have dropped down 2.75. I don't know what I did. When I drew it onto the drawing, I put 2 1/4. So everything's correct. The dimensions are correct to the scale, but then it's not going to fit. So in order to do it, I'm going to have to redraw it. But I figured this would be good. I tried to do a good job, and that's my project. Thank you.